I'm just taking note of this one where they left Churchill County. The area they're showing me is down the street from my property. Here's my property right here. And the area they were showing me is over here, where this particular canal that runs through my property ends. And as I had stated once before, I'd seen two of the city workers in the Fallon trucks with the blue circle that says City of Fallon and all that on there. Actually, two of them were trespassing earlier this week on my property, and I have them on both security camera, and I drove up to the end of the driveway and recorded them as well. They were across the street from my property. I didn't come outside until I saw them come over on my property, go through the open area of the gate, and walk up as far as the power to our property is with a flashlight. And that's when I came outside and got in my car. It was about 5 a.m. And so the sun was coming up, and drove down the driveway and parked my car across my driveway and just sat there and watched them. And I have video of that and also security footage, which I'm also going to file a report on. They don't have no damn business on my property. Period. They only, if they're TDIC, have a right to come into the easement, which is 16 feet. This is over 150 feet away from the easement. We're talking about an area where the main driveway is, and nowhere near the canal. They approached at least an additional 150 feet, 80 to 150 feet. It's hard to tell from the cameras. I'll have to measure how far it is to the power box of my property, but they don't have any business on my property. And the dogs alerted me they were out there. I clicked on the security cameras, the monitor, so I could watch them. The cameras are always on, to see what they were doing. And after about 15 minutes of watching them, I saw them come onto the property. But anyway, sometime last year, maybe, I don't know. It was sometime when they still had water in the canal. I would say maybe August-ish, September-ish, when two of the guys from the city, one with longer hair and younger and skinnier, was down in the water. And the water, I'd say, was only about knee-high or less in the canal. And he was looking for something. The other guy goes, well, it's got to be there. And I'm walking up to him. And the young guy looked again. He goes, oh, I found it. And he held up what looked like a square package that was wrapped in brown wrapping tape all the way around. You couldn't see what it was, but he held it up to the other guy. The other guy came to the edge and got it. Where he found it was at the, they got caught in that area where they go under the street, which is kind of like a little bridge. And there was a lot of brush and stuff growing in that area. And so I guess whatever was floating down the canal got caught up, and they found it. And then the younger guy walks over and hands it up to the older guy, who bends down to receive it. And the younger guy kind of pointed at me like there's somebody, walking up. And so the older guy goes, can I help you? This is my fucking property, okay? So, no, you can't help me. But I didn't have an attitude. I never have an attitude with the people. I'm tired of their stupid shit, but I'm always courteous because that's about who I am, not about them or what they're doing. I can behave with manners and still put your ass in your place. But anyway, so he goes, can I help you? Like, I don't have any business being here. What the hell do you want? I'm on my property. You're on my property. So I said, can you make sure you close the gate? Because the last couple of times the guys have been leaving the gate open. The whole point of having locks on it is to keep it locked. And so I just asked the guy, can you make sure when you guys leave, you shut the gate? People have been leaving the gate open. And he goes, yeah, I'll shut the gate. Like, yeah, now go the fuck about your business kind of attitude. I walked away because that's all I had to say to him in the first place. And to me, it looked like drugs. That's the only thing I've ever seen packaged in that manner. What are they using the canal to float them down the canal to the other location? Which brings me to the point of where the water that goes from my property ends, being where someone is illegally logged into my accounts right now, and why my thing is showing this location on my timeline. And this location has come up several times on my timeline, but I don't have an address for it. I haven't been able to find a building on the property or an address for this, but this has come up multiple times, this location. So back to, I think they're running drugs and they're using the canal to float it down to, you know, their location. And if I'm correct, where this canal ends, this is on the reservation. I could be wrong, but I remember looking at it once before in a larger map, and this was part of the reservation property. But again, I'm not an expert on who owns what, but I wanted to make a note of that because there's no coincidence that this place is coming up again and again on my timeline, this location.